Day 2 of the Links Trophy 2015 was due once again to be played over the Jubilee course, but unfortunately the tournament fell foul of some rather gusty weather, winds of over 50 miles an hour recorded, and with only a few starters making it onto the course, the tough decision was made to abandon play and make the cut after 18 holes for the final day's play on the old course. So 61 players, and quite frankly, golfing venues don't get any better. The old course looking resplendent, furnished now with the grandstands that are required for the Open Championship, due here in just a few weeks. One golfer who made the cut has already played a major this season. Australian Antonio Murdaka made his debut at Augusta in the Masters after winning the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. So how's he enjoying St Andrews and the venue for this week's tournament?
I love it out here. The stands are up, everything's up. Getting ready for the British Open, so it's it's pretty amazing to be out here and just being able to play the old course and even playing out in the Jubilee the last couple of days was pretty awesome.
There's no doubt that Antonio has proved himself to be one of the leading amateurs in the world at the moment, but what about the other golfers in the field?
Strong field. 7 under, 6 under is a pretty good first round for the first 18 that we had, and it wasn't very easy out there, so it was a great round. We've got some great players out here, so it's a tough competition for us, and I think it's a good thing to show us, see where our game's at, and see how we're competing internationally.
Antonio was only 3 shots off the lead after the morning round, coping well in the breezy conditions. Another international player who started the day well in contention was Spaniard Mario Galliano. He gave us his thoughts on St Andrews before embarking on his 36-hole final day in front of a sizable crowd.
The atmosphere here was incredible, and I am very lucky for being here. And I have fun in all the links, but this especially because it's the St Andrews and it's very nice.
Mario struggled over his final 2 rounds on the old course and slipped out of contention, one of many golfers who perhaps were struggling a little in the strong wind. There were 2 Scots who started the day only 1 shot off the lead. One of them, Jack McDonald, enjoyed a good tournament here last year.
I always love coming here. It's a great golf course and there's always a wee bit of wind to test the players, and it's a really good test right through the golf course, yes. It's a great setup, with the stands and everything. It's got a great feel about it, and just really looking forward to the day ahead.
Starting the day 6 under par, Jack shot 2 consecutive 77s to eventually finish in 14th place. The other Scot who was 6 under par at the start of play was Connor Syme. Connor, now based just a few miles up the road, still loves coming to the home of golf to compete.
You can't beat this, absolutely. It looks fantastic for the Open, so pleasure to be playing here today with all the grandstands up, certainly.
And what about that opening 66 on the Jubilee?
We got it pretty nice in the morning, the weather was pretty good, so just happy to take advantage of it. I'd been played well in practice rounds, so it was nice to take it to the course, certainly. So hold a few putts and hit it pretty nice, so it was good to play well. So looking forward to it today. It's like a Saturday, isn't it, this round, so it's kind of moving day they call it, I guess, so you just got to take it one shot at a time and see how it goes. You've just got to stay patient.
Staying patient may well be the key to challenging for the trophy, but Connor wasn't hanging about in his morning round. Here we see him on the first green after a solid approach to the middle of the green, leaving a 20-foot birdie putt, and that was in, and Connor moved to a tie for the lead. 1 under for the day, 7 under for the tournament. It has to be said though, it was a tough day for scoring, and very few golfers making it under par, not as many birdies out there, as was discovered by the 18-hole leader Cormac Sharvin. The Irishman having a great season, but struggled on the final day here on the old course, eventually finishing well down the field. One of the golfers who headed into the final round still under par was Peter Lonerbeck from Denmark. A final round 76 though saw him drop down to just outside the top 10. There were 2 golfers who made it under par in the morning round. One of them, Ivan Cantero from Spain. A very nice 1 under 71 for his second round. but in the afternoon he faded with a 78, finishing in a tie for 14th. The only other golfer to come in with a subpar round from the morning was Italy's Federico Zucchetti. Zucchetti had led this tournament 12 months ago after a stunning 64 on day one on the new course. His Italian teammates this year helping him to consecutive 71s on his opening 2 rounds to be 2 under with 18 holes to go. The leader after 36 holes though was John Ross Galbraith from Ireland. Here we see him with a nice approach on the 16th in his morning round. John Ross shot a 67 on day one in the Jubilee to be 2 off the lead heading into the final day. And here a very nice birdie putt. There weren't many birdies on the course for the golfers, but John Ross with a very tidy 3 on the 16th. And as we join him finishing off his morning round, up on 18, this again another birdie putt. 1 over for the round, but still impressively 4 under for the tournament with 18 holes to go. The field had been tightly packed as they teed off for their morning round, with only 7 shots separating the leaders from the back markers. That meant that the winner really could come from anywhere in the field. Federico Zucchetti though had kept up his challenge well. This putt was to save par on the 6th, where he was currently 1 under par for his afternoon round, 3 under for the tournament. He couldn't quite believe that it wouldn't drop, the wind and the contours doing their best, but unfortunately he had to settle for a bogey. He knew every shot could be vital. Tying for 3rd in this tournament last year, there was a sense of unfinished business about Zucchetti as he set about his afternoon round. He picked up another birdie at the tricky par 3 8th, and again another birdie attempt here on the 9th to move to 4 under for the tournament, but once again just hanging on the edge of the hole, and you had to wonder, well, perhaps he would live to regret a couple of these putts not quite dropping. He was still 3 under when we caught up with him here on the 15th, but needed that for a par. He missed, had to settle for a bogey at the lengthy par 4, and he was back to 2 under for the tournament. He knew he was in contention. The camera crews were there, the press were following him, as were his Italian teammates. A long drive at the par 4 16th meant he had this 50-yard little chip up towards the flag, playing the contours nicely along with the wind and setting up another birdie opportunity. The putt maybe 10 or 12 feet. Could he get that stroke straight back that he had dropped at the last? He certainly could. Confident stuff from Zucchetti. And he knew he was in with a chance. Scoring was high in the rest of the field, and Zucchetti still impressively under par for every one of his rounds at the moment. Here on 17, this to save par at the famous road hole. And that's a great putt. Under real pressure, he knew he was in with a chance. A very awkward position for the pin on the 18th for the golfers. The wind helping with the drives, but when it lands you on the wrong side of the Valley of Sin, as Federico would find out, it is not an easy putt up if you want to try and get close to the flag. And that ball rolled back down into the deepest part of the Valley of Sin. Well, the Italian teammates were struggling to watch as Federico had this to save par and finish at 3 under. He had to settle for a bogey once again, but an impressive clubhouse lead of 2 under par. A handshake, and all he could do was sit and wait and wait. His nearest challengers over 2 hours behind him on the course. And what are some of the other golfers? Well, Antonio Mordaka, he saw his challenge fade in the afternoon, struggling a little with the bumps, contours and the wind. He eventually finished in a tie for 11th. But what about the other golfers competing for the title? Well, Scotland's Connor Syme, he had this for birdie on the 14th to get back within 2 of the lead. It didn't drop. He was still 1 over, and 3 shots to make up over the final 4 holes was asking a lot. That meant it was really down to Ireland's John Ross Galbraith. Now, he had been leading up until the 14th, and here he is over on the 5th, where his drive ended up. Struggling on the par 5, he had to come out backwards there before making his way up to the edge of the green. with his next shot. Galbraith had been 4 under par for the tournament as he stood on the 14th tee. And it appeared that, well, his challenge was in trouble as the clouds were gathering in the distance. He needed to sink this putt for a double bogey 7. That would have kept him in a tie for the lead. But as with Syme's putt, just sliding on past, and he was struggling to take in what had just happened. A triple bogey 8 on par 5, 14th. And all of a sudden he found himself 1 shot behind. And as we said before, there weren't many birdies out there on the course. A fine drive though from the Irishman on 16. And a very nice little chip onto the green, setting up a birdie opportunity. If he could sink that, he would tie once again for the lead at 2 under. Just catching the edge of the hole. And he knew it was going to be tough with 1 shot to make up over the final 2 holes. That tricky flag placement on 18. And of course, one of the toughest par 4s in the world of golf. The road hole, the 17th. Well, he had a magnificent drive right over the hotel. And this was his approach from the right-hand side of the fairway. He didn't look too happy. He certainly went for the flag, but he paid the price. Bouncing over the green and onto the path. And things now looking very tricky for the Irishman in front of the grandstands and the spectators that were down to watch. This, his 3rd shot. And, well, not strong enough to get a roll back off the slope from the road hole bunker. He would miss that par putt. Bogey 17, which meant that this 2nd shot here on 18 had to go in if he was to force a playoff. It was a brave effort. A big long drive to the edge of the green. But Galbraith's shot rolled on past the flag, and he would finish the tournament at level par in a tie for 3rd spot. Finishing a little bit better was Connor Syme. He had this for a birdie 3, also to finish at level par, which he saw in the final putt of the tournament, and that meant that this year's Links Trophy champion was Federico Zucchetti from Italy. A well-deserved victory for the Italian in tough conditions. Great to get his hands on one of the most prestigious trophies in the world of amateur golf, especially after coming so close last year.
Last year I finished 3rd, and as I said, I wanted to come here and try to win this tournament. It's special. Playing on the old course is always magic, and walking off the first tee and the 18th green, the atmosphere is just amazing. So I'm really happy of that.
Zucchetti obviously pleased with the victory, but also pleased at how he played coming down the stretch when he knew he was in contention.
I knew I was close because you guys were following me for almost 18 holes, and on 17 I made a big one. On 18 I didn't look at the leaderboard. I knew I was close, and then when I'm 18 I made the 4 putts. I was a little bit upset as I walked off the 18th green, but you know, on the old course anything can happen, so even if it's not windy, we saw what happened. So.
And with fellow Italian Filippo Campigli finishing 2nd, how does it feel to be over with a strong team from Italy?
The federation tries to do the best for us, and obviously I'm very thankful for that. And this year we had 4 in the top 15, so it's a good result for me, for the team, and especially for the federation.
Congratulations, Federico Zucchetti, Links Trophy champion 2015.